A true classic never goes out of style.
How did you create the Jennifer Tilly persona?
The Jennifer Tilly persona. Well, when I first started out, I always thought like, well, if I was on talk shows and everything, I always thought like, well, I want to be somebody that's fun to watch and that's sort of, that like if you're switching channels and you say, wait a minute, I want to watch that person, she's fun. So I guess that's where I sort of like started to create a character that I think people identify me with. It's sort of a fun character, I guess. I don't know how to answer that question yet. But then the minute you have a persona, because when I first started in Hollywood, they were like, oh, she's a sexy, funny, but not very bright person. Then all of a sudden now you want to be, no, I'm the serious actress that's very plain and, you know, has dirt on my face and has very deep emotion. So the minute you create a persona, then all of a sudden you want to subvert it and be something else. But, you know, lately I've just sort of really liked that people have an idea of who I am and I play a certain type of part because the parts I play are very enjoyable. Like I love playing Tiffany and I love working with Chucky and like most of the movies and things that I do, I like to do movies that I would like to see myself.
Are you feeling better now?
I don't blame you for being afraid. I was very ill.
Chucky told me.
And you worked with some of the most interesting filmmakers of our time. What movies are you most proud of and why?
I'd say my favorite movies that I've done, aside from the Chucky movies, are Bullets Over Broadway, because I worked with Woody Allen. And that was really great because he let us improvise a lot and he would never shoot the scene the same way twice. He didn't do a lot of coverage. So it was sort of very free form, like it was like you were actually living it because you never had to replicate something that you did in a previous take. And he's very good with women, strangely enough, if you given his personal history. But it seems like women in Woody Allen movies always excel. He writes brilliant parts for women. So that was really great. And I was playing a terrible actress in that, which was quite a stretch for me. And so we had fun with that. And then I loved Bound, which is a movie I did with Gina Gershon, because the Wachowski brothers are just brilliant. And it was sort of really a perfect film noir. It was sort of from the film noir genre, but it sort of subverted expectations and set the film noir genre on its head, and that both of the people in love were women. So I'd say those are my two favorite movies. But I would say the Chucky movies are the movies that everybody remembers me from. So there's something very memorable about the Chucky movies and the Tiffany character, and probably because I've done 4 of them, the people really know me from those films. And then the other movies I've done that I like Liar Liar and Let It Ride. Most of the films I do, they become cult movies after, you know, no one really sees them when they come out, and then years later you realize they were a cult movie, which doesn't help you get your next part, but it's very nice to be in so many films that are considered cult films.
Would you like to insure the package?
Oh, that won't be necessary.
It protects you and it protects the recipient.
I doubt that.
Perishable goods? Live animal?
Just put other.
At first you were skeptical on doing a Chucky movie.
Yes, I was. I felt like a horror movie is something you do at the beginning of your career when you're just starting out. Like, people are always like, oh, Jennifer Aniston was in Leprechaun. It's like, yeah, why shouldn't she be in Leprechaun? Or I felt like it was something you do at the end of your career, like whatever happened to Baby Jane, like when you don't have anything else to do, then you do a horror movie. But the horror movie genre has really changed. Like, it's very prestigious to be in horror films right now. Like Jennifer Lawrence is in Mother, which is a film that's just coming out. And when I first started doing the Chucky movies, they had all those movies like I Know What You Did Last Summer and I forget what the one with Drew Barrymore, Scream, those movies, they were very popular at the time. And so it was sort of a different attitude towards horror movies. Like, people loved to see them. And so a lot of actresses were doing them at that time. And I'm so happy I have the Chucky franchise. I love Don Mancini, who created the Chucky movies. He's incredibly creative, and we have a great friendship. And every time I get a new script, a new Chucky script, I can't wait to see what's going to happen because he's such a good writer, and I'm very proud of these movies. But at the beginning, yes, I did put up a little resistance. I was like, what? I don't want to act opposite a plastic little doll that has foul language. I was like, I'm a serious actress. And Don actually put that in the movie. He put it in Seed of Chucky.
Yeah.
Had me say, he goes, I'm an Academy Award nominated actress. Now I'm fucking a puppet. I was like, okay. I don't know if you can say that on your show, but I just didn't.
It's fine.
It out, right?
Yeah, it's all right. But speaking about that, you repeatedly joked about the downfall of your career.
Yes. You know what? It's funny because Dawn and I wrote a lot of those jokes ourselves. Like, for example, there was a joke, when Tiffany is pulling the Jennifer Tilly body along, she's huffing and puffing, and I had her going, fuck, she's fat, And people were saying to me, oh, did you mind that Dawn wrote that about you? And I was like, Dawn didn't write that. I'm taking credit. I came up with that myself. Yeah, when he first said he was going to write a movie and I was going to play myself in Seed of Chucky, I go, oh my God, can you make me a self-involved, narcissistic, spoiled diva? And he's like, I sure can. In fact, I already have. So, but then he had to rewrite it because Universal said, oh, she's really unlikable. I mean, can't she just be a nice person that's being chased by a doll? So we took out a lot of the jokes that made her like really a truly terrible person and made her just like, a mildly terrible person like all actors are.
By the way, Miss Tilly, can I have your autograph? I'm a big fan.
What am I supposed to do with this?
Okay, what is it with Chucky that attracts you?
Well, I personally love Chucky. I think he's adorable. Like when everyone's saying, oh my God, isn't he terrifying? I just thought that, especially when he had all the little scars on his face, that he's, really cute, but I'm looking at him from Tiffany's perspective. Tiffany is in love with Chucky. But I think what people love about Chucky is that even though he's a doll, he seems very real. He has concerns that everybody does. Like he has concerns about, his kid growing up to be, not a man. He has concerns about his relationship with Tiffany and keeping her happy, especially in the bedroom. And, he has worries about being a has-been, and he feels like the need to come up with new and creative ways to kill people so people aren't like, oh, that's Chucky, same old, same old. So I think people, they see Chucky as sort of an extension of them, if they were, that tall and like to kill people. But yeah, people love Chucky, and I think people have a great deal of nostalgia for him too, because people grew up with him.
When did you realize that the Chucky movies would be an ongoing installment of your career?
Well, I did the first one, and then I kind of thought maybe there'd be a second one. And then after the second one, I really sort of felt like they'd move on because, in these movies, a lot of times they have like a newer, younger batch of people being chased by Chucky. But because I am Tiffany, the voice of Tiffany, I figured like as long as there's a Tiffany, there'll be a role for me. And then the next movie, Curse of Chucky was Tiffany free. But then Don brought me in at the end as Tiffany the person, not Tiffany the doll. And this movie, there's, a little bit of everything to make everybody happy. So now at this point, I'm thinking I'm going to be in every Chucky movie till the end of time. And to that end, I take Don Mancini out for dinner. I treat him to a movie. I buy him Sour Patch Kids and caramel corn. And, I really suck up to Don. So he'll just keep putting me the Chucky movies because it's just a romp. And every time I show up on a Chucky set, I'm really happy. Like, I'm home. And he uses a lot of the same crew and everybody. So it's just really nice to show up and say hello to everyone again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's nice to meet you.
Night night. And they call me sick?